The moment you hear that music, something immediately clicks in your brain again. The guitars, the tires, a taxi flying the wrong way through traffic, and somewhere in the middle of all that madness, when we first came across this thing, a driver yelling at you to hop in. Well, that is, for those of you who missed it, Crazy Taxi. In fact, very few games ever really captured pure arcade fun the way this franchise did. Now, obviously, after years of nothing, it finally feels like the series is really coming back now. And no, not as a mobile game, not as a small nostalgia release, but a real comeback. Sega has officially confirmed multiple times now that a brand new Crazy Taxi project remains in active development as part of the company's massive revival of classic franchises. Alongside games like Jet Set Radio, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage, the new Crazy Taxi is one of Sega's biggest reboot projects moving forward right now, and the timing couldn't even be better. Gaming has become so obsessed with realism over the last decade that a lot of racing games started feeling almost too careful, too structured and too serious. Clean racetracks, that's all. Perfect simulation handling, organized events, everything polished down until the chaos completely almost disappeared. Crazy Taxi was never about control, it was about momentum. Pure momentum, in fact. The original game, in case you didn't know, felt like somebody dropped an arcade machine directly in the middle of a city and told players to survive as long as possible while breaking every traffic law ever invented. That energy still feels unique even now. And the really interesting part is this. Sega clearly knows the new game needs to be much bigger than before. Recent reports and recruitment materials connected to the reboot describe the project as a AAA experience, with developers reportedly experimenting with large multiplayer systems and massive open environments. That changes a lot of things, in fact everything, because suddenly the idea of a modern Crazy Taxi becomes enormous. The atmosphere that could be imagined could alone become incredible, and importantly, it should still feel ridiculous. That is critical, because Crazy Taxi never cared about realism. Cars launched off hills, drivers drifted through impossible corners at insane speed, entire cities felt built specifically for just stunts and destructions rather than just normal driving, like a normal driving game. And that exaggerated arcade feeling is like the soul of the franchise. In fact, a reboot absolutely cannot lose that. And modern technology could finally realize the original version properly now. The old game already felt fast back then, but hardware limitations restricted city size, traffic density, destruction systems, and pedestrian behavior heavily. Now imagine fully dynamic cities reacting naturally while players just blast through intersections at full speed, cars crashing realistically, crowds scattering, police chasing. Well, that chaos could feel believable today. And the music also matters enormously now. People sometimes forget how important the soundtrack was to Crazy Taxi, or basically is in general, when it comes to video games. The original games became legendary partly because of the bands like The Offspring and Bad Religion blasting constantly during gameplay. That soundtrack gave the series personality. Without it, Crazy Taxi loses part of its identity instantly. So, a reboot needs the same energy again. Loud punk rock, fast guitars, music that sound like it was designed specifically for running red lights at 100 miles per hour through downtown traffic. That feeling matters because Crazy Taxi was never just a driving game, it was freedom, arcade freedom. The kind where players stopped worrying about realism completely and simply chased momentum through the city while trying not to explode into incoming traffic. And visually, obviously, the reboot could become one of Sega's coolest looking games ever if handled correctly. Recent rumors, in fact, even suggest the game may be using Unreal Engine 5. Imagine what that could mean. And another thing is this. The best Crazy Taxi players never really followed roads normally. We discovered different routes through parking garages, staircases, alleyways, parks, rooftops, and all that to cut the route shorter. That creativity made every run feel personal, and a modern reboot could expand that massively. Entire cities is designed vertically instead of flat. Players learn in hidden pathways through subtle tunnels, elevated highways, rooftop jumps, destructible environments, every second becoming a decision between safety and absolutely insanity. That tension's timeless, especially online. because this is where the reboot idea starts sounding genuinely huge now. Multiple reports, in fact, suggest Sega has experimented with multiplayer systems involving far more players than all their entries ever allowed. Some rumors even describe large-scale online experiences with dozens of competing drivers inside shared city spaces. Honestly, that sounds perfect for Crazy Taxi. Imagine dozens of taxis just racing through one giant city simultaneously while players fight over passengers, dodge traffic, cause complete urban mayhem together, rival drivers stealing customers seconds before picking up. That would feel amazing. And the reboot should still preserve the arcade pacing as well. Not bloated realism, no endless tutorials either. The player should jump into the city and immediately feel the speed, the pressure, the chaos, that instant go energy that made the original game addictive within seconds. Because arcade gaming itself is starting to matter again. Players miss games that simply want them to have fun immediately instead of slowly unlocking enjoyment after like 20 hours of progression systems and menus. Crazy Taxi always understood that well. You start driving, smiling, that's the formula. And Sega seems much more focused now than it did years ago. After canceling, in fact, its massive Super Game Live Service initiative recently, the company publicly shifted resources back toward core premium franchises instead. That's important because fans were worried these reboots might become overly monetized live service projects instead of just actual good games people genuinely wanted to play. Now there's a growing hope that Sega is actually refocusing on marketing these franchises fun first again. And that optimism spreading everywhere online right now, across Reddit, YouTube, whatever. Honestly, they're right. There still isn't another franchise quite like this one. Not because the concept's complicated, but because the attitude is unique. Crazy Taxi feels rebellious in just the best way possible. Bright colors, loud music, cities designed to destruction, drivers acting like complete maniacs while somehow still getting passengers from point A to B. That identity never really got old. If anything, it feels refreshing now. Especially today, when so many games try desperately to feel cinematic and grounded at the same time. Crazy Taxi reminds players that games can still be ridiculous, stylish, fast, and at the same time unbelievably fun without apologizing for any of it. And honestly, that's why the reboot is so exciting. Why, you might ask? Well, because we can already picture it perfectly. And hopefully sooner rather than later, we're gonna see Sega proudly officially announcing the new Crazy Taxi.